जब तक है संसार अमर है राम भरत का प्यार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। सुना भरत ने हुआ राम को जैसे ही वनवास, दौड़े दौड़े पहुँच गए वो वन में राम के पास। राम के बदले न था भरत को राजपाट स्वीकार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार। राम ने समझाया जब उनको, तुम ही करो अब राज। लिए पादुका राम की लौटे, छोड़ दिए सब काज। सिंहासन पर रखी पादुका, सब कुछ दिया विसार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार, अमर है राम भरत का प्यार।
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting? Are you getting? Are you getting some background noise?
No, sir.
Okay. No, there is some car washing going on. I just shut my door, shut out the noise. So does anybody have any question? Anybody can relate to what we are trying to do in these 2 or 3 sessions? 2 more sessions we have with respect to meditation. What are we trying to do? After all, I'm substituting Janki ji, who is taking the chapter on meditation in the Vedanta Treatise. So what are we trying to do? As you know, Swamiji is perhaps the only teacher who cautions against meditation. Meditation has its place in the scheme of things, but nobody has earned that position where you can meditate. Meditation is the portal to the self. Portal to the self you achieve when you are dispensed with all desire. Meditation is not going to knock your desire off. When you don't know how to handle desire, you get stressed. And to gain some relief from that, you enter a bubble of silence. That takes a peace which you don't have because you have lost your peace because of ego and egocentric desire. So you must first abase that by becoming unselfish. Then you will become peaceful. And at the same time, you will have satisfaction. You get along with others. And that platform of happiness that you have. Could I adjust my volume? Okay, I'm at max volume. You can hear me now? Can people
Yes,
hear me?
sir.
Okay. So the bottom line is, if you are peaceful and happy with yourself, you are qualified to meditate. You cannot, a restless mind cannot gain rest by meditating. A restful mind is qualified to meditate. So contradiction in terms. So you have to become objective. So first we must bring that mind to rest. Once it is rested, means in and through the complications of the marketplace and people around you, your mind remains at rest. If the mind remains at rest, a calm mind is qualified to think higher. So what is a calm mind is articulated by James Allen, calmness of mind. Just put it up, please. You have it? No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm putting it up.
James Allen is a philosopher and thinker. He's the guy who has written the book, As You Think. So, as you think, so you become. He's the guy who wrote it. So, synopsis is that a calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others, and they in turn reverence his spiritual strength and feel they can learn of him and rely upon him. He's learned how to govern himself means what? He's learned how to govern himself means what? I'm asking.
He's learned the art of self-control and how to deal with others.
Correct. So he's learned how to govern himself means what? He's governing himself first before he's dealing with others. So what is it that is governing in himself?
His emotions, feelings,
His mind is governing. It's his mind that goes out of control. So his wisdom, his knowledge, his intellect controls the mind. The mind goes haywire. Mind has to be governed. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. First lesson in the Bhagavad Gita is that who is a man of wisdom? Who is a yogi? He asks. So he who has control over his mind, a steady-minded person is a mind of wisdom combined with skill in action. Calmness of mind is a precondition to skill in action. It is a result of long and patient effort in self-control. You're right. Self-control is intellect controlling the mind. The mind has two aspects. One aspect is self-centered mind. So it dispenses with ego and egocentric desires and embraces unselfishness, the willingness to acknowledge and help others. But that also will victimize you. Your inability to help others will victimize you. So you have to be objective. So that is the self-control. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and a more than ordinary knowledge of laws of operation of thought. So you are what you are, I am what I am, because of quality and direction of thought that we have. So purpose of Vedanta is to give us perspectives that strengthen our and sharpen our gross intellect, and higher than that is a perspective that sharpens and unfolds our subtle intellect. Only if you unfold your subtle intellect. Why do you need to unfold subtle intellect?
To differentiate between real and unreal.
Yes, you have to differentiate between real and unreal. But why is it that you're right? Why is it you have to unfold the subtle intellect?
Then only we can realize our true self.
Correct. In order to understand your equation with the self, which is a transcendental, which is a mystery, you have to unfold your subtle intellect. But the subtle intellect has to be unfolded also through the medium of logic and reason, not by speculation. Unfolding of the subtle intellect, of the mystery of connection between man and world and man and God and world, is to be done through as rigorous and scientific an inquiry as scientists inquire into their phenomenal world. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being. For such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as a result of thought. Which means what? It requires understanding of others as a result of thought. And as he develops the right understanding and sees more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume, worry and grieve, and remains poised, steadfast, and serene. What is the meaning of this statement? That he understands others as understanding of others as a result of thought. What is the meaning of that?
He understands
Everybody will function as per his vasanas.
Correct. So when you say everybody will function as per his vasanas, what does it mean, sir? You're right. Answer is correct.
Each one's nature is different.
Each one's nature is different. So, but what is it that you must understand?
You cannot change. Don't try to change others. You himself try to change.
Correct assessment.
Change yourself. Correct assessment. So it's the correct assessment that each person will function according to his nature. If you understand that, what will happen?
You'll accept
No.
the behavior, not try to change the behavior.
So what will happen in
No
practice?
agitation. No agitation.
So how many times are you getting angry and agitated? See what I'm trying to tell you, you're giving me the right answer, but understanding is becoming. So what is the frequency with which you are getting irritated or agitated with people around you? This is my question. How many times are you getting irritated, agitated with your own family members? This is my question.
Very often.
That if you're agitated, irritated very often, then where is the irritation and agitation and understanding that they function according to their own nature? There is no connection between the two things. There's no connection there.
We understand academically.
Exactly. So therefore, academic understanding is the precondition to becoming. If you don't know that everybody is helpless function of his own nature, you won't know why he's functioning like that. He's like that because that's how he's reinforced his thought. The reason he's reinforced his thought like that he had no mentor at the right time, or if it was there, he chose to disregard the mentor. Happy and blessed is the hour when wickedness stands forth revealed as goodness bereft of a guide. That fellow understood it. So therefore, when he saw wickedness, it did not curdle his blood. Either that fellow has refused to accept it, in which case heavy is the price he has to pay, or he had no mentorship, so therefore he's gone astray. So it's a blessed insight. You're blessed. That insight blesses you by removing your frustration and anger and converting it into understanding and empathy. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others. What is the meaning? He knows how to adapt himself to others. Adapting himself to others, because you understand, is equal to what? Adapting himself to others out of understanding that they are helpless victims of their own vasanas is equal to what?
You're flexible.
Yes, that Catholicity is equal to what?
It's love.
Correct. That Catholicity is love. Attachment is wanting the other to adapt himself to your mindset. This foolishness. Even though your mindset is, if he adopts your mindset, he may benefit actually. But to insist that he adopts your mindset so that he will benefit is taking the law in your own hands. Foolish. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others. Because of that skill, he has no agenda behind. If at all he tells you something, he has no agenda behind it. He just offers you something as a perspective for you to accept or not. But he's not bugged by you. They in turn reverence his spiritual strength. His spiritual strength comes from the power of his subtle intellect, his wisdom. And they feel they can learn of him and rely upon him. Why is it that they feel they can learn of him and rely upon him?
Because he's got no agenda.
Correct. So that is a reason, but there is something else they can feel and learn from him. Why?
Because he is feeling he and myself, himself is the same.
Because whatever he is talking or in whatever way he is conducting himself, it reveals who he actually is. You can explain what you have understood. You can only communicate what you have become. That is why we are very good at advising others, and that is the reason why nobody follows our advice. उनका स्वभाव ऐसा है, इसमें चिंता करना, इसमें नाराज होने का क्या मतलब है? What is the idea of getting angry? This is his nature. This you tell somebody else. No? You're speaking gospel truth, but nobody is listening to you because you're getting bugged when something happens to you. You can explain what you have understood. You can communicate what you've become. So he is able to communicate because he is that. You can communicate love to the extent you have unconditional. You can communicate. Otherwise, you talk about unconditional. You can communicate detachment, which is not indifference, to the extent you have it. Otherwise, you talk. Otherwise, detachment is equated to indifference, and commitment is equated to involvement. How to remain uninvolved and committed at the same time? If you have become that, you can communicate. Otherwise, you can't communicate. That's why they reverence him, his spiritual strength, and feel they can learn of him and rely upon him because he walks the talk. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, and his power for good. A strong, calm man is always loved and revered. He doesn't look for it, but that is his natural footprint. He is like a shade-giving tree in a thirsty land or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered and balanced life? It does not matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. That exquisite poise of character, which we call serenity, is the last lesson of culture and the fruitage of the soul. So, one of the reasons why a person like him, like James Allen, has this serenity, this peace of mind, this spiritual strength, is just as he spent a lot of time pondering on human nature. He has also spent a lot of time pondering, thinking, reflecting on his equation and God's equation with the world. But it cannot be a random pondering. You require scientific inquiry. So, as soon as we see the world and we acknowledge its wonder, a natural question comes to us: why, how, and why has all this come about? So, our subtle intellect comes embedded with the question: why and how what is all this thing about? Our subtle intellect has a natural connection with divinity. Omkar. As
Yes,
I'm talking, if you Google, I want you to Google the antonym for ephemeral.
Yes, sir.
You put ephemeral and you'll get antonym. You'll get some 7, 8 of them. Antonyms, when you get, you just tell me and put on the screen. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, meditation, the contemplation is the process through which we do rational thinking, logic and reason, where we have to embrace fundamentally an unknown, which is the self, which is divinity, where we have to embrace that in connection with the world around us. No, these are, this is the meaning. I want the antonym. Yeah, so just hold on to the antonym. So I'm pointing out something to you. Everybody knows that this world is changing and ephemeral, is it not? It's here today, gone tomorrow. Nothing stays forever. Everybody knows that, is it not?
Yes.
I'm asking a simple question.
Yes.
Everybody knows this, that nothing is going to stay here, gone tomorrow. Your desires are changing. Everything is changing. You're only going through endless cycle. And nothing is permanent. Everybody knows. So the opposite of ephemeral is is given there. Enduring, lasting, lengthy, long-lived, permanent, perpetual, eternal, everlasting, and interminable. Eternal, everlasting, and interminable. Immortal. This is the opposite. What do you have to understand, sir? What you have to understand, there is another set. If you go, where have you looked at this? You look at,
Thesaurus.
you will find vertically it's given. Eternal, everlasting, interminable, immortal, like that. So when you listen to these terms, eternal, everlasting, interminable, immortal, what must strike you, sir? I'm asking the class. Long-lived is not a strong. Long-lived means it is immortal. Long-lived means it's not that short-lived. Permanent and perpetual. This is the opposite. Perpetual means no birth, no death. When you listen to these terms, what must strike you?
Infinite.
No, the infinite, correct. So therefore, what must strike you? What is this world made up of? In traditional Indian spiritual texts, the world is made up of what?
Dvandvas.
Dvandvas means what? Correct.
Pairs of opposite.
Pairs of opposite, right? Profit, loss, good, bad, so on. Infinite pairs of opposites. Correct. So both sides are available in the world. Good and bad, cruelty and kindness, night and day. Everything is available in the world in terms of opposites, right? These qualities that you just read, is permanence available in the world? Is immortality available in the world? Is everlasting quality, is it demonstrated in the world? Is it available? I am asking.
No.
So therefore, there's conundrum, no? It is the only pair of opposites where one pair is available in the world, the other pair is not. I don't know if you are understanding what I'm saying. Permanence is not available. Immortality is not available. Deathlessness, what is it called? Beginning, timelessness is not available. No birth, no death is not available. So why is it that something which is not in the world appeals to us? I'm asking, because it's not there. Why does it appeal to us?
Unless you do not quote other thing, you will not understand one thing.
My dear, that is what I'm trying to tell you. No, but whatever is the other thing, what is eternal means it was always been there, is there now, will never not be there. This is a concept we don't understand. It is not available. So why are we drawn to it?
Because the ephemeral gives us instant gratification.
My ephemeral may give us anything, but what is permanent is not available. So therefore, all we can do is move around with whatever short-lived joys you make, little long-lived. That's all you can do. Why? How can we chase something which is not available? But yet it strikes us. Immortality strikes us. Why? You know it is not possible. See, learning is an exercise. The learning is exercise in difference and comparison, sir. Why does it ring a bell with us when we know it is not there?
Because
Objectivity is the
nature.
capacity. Objectivity is the capacity to accept and understand things as they are, not to think of, imagine things which you cannot get. So therefore, immortality, permanence is not available. The opposite of short, not available. Why are we excited about?
Because that's our true nature. And we are trying to get back to our nature.
Because our inner self, right? These qualities belong to our inner self. The inner self is eternal, immortal, without birth, without death. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, that our subtle intellect is connected automatically to the inner self. See, the inner self has these qualities. They speak to us. We aspire for them, but we can't get them because we are looking for them in a place which is essentially impermanent. So we are looking for it in the right place. That is the inference. It is not available in the terrestrial realm. It is the natural condition of the transcendental. And the transcendental element in your personality is yourself. Yourself never was born, never will die, always is. And it is also unpolluted. So this is an inference. This you have to think about. They're food for thought. So today's class is food for thought. This is one food for thought. The other is the scientists also had a thought about what is life and how did life come about. So the scientists looked at it from the lens of their observation. The lens of their observation is what is called as evolution. So they discovered something. So they discovered that in the beginning there was infinite mass of energy, and this energy in fundamental terms was permutation combination of four things. One was gravitational force, the other is electromagnetic force, and the third and fourth things are weak atomic force and strong nuclear force. These four mixed and matched keep this cosmos in running order. This is what they found. Another thing they found was in this vast cosmos, there is something called life, which is rare. But however rare life may be, so they assume that given enough time for energy to go through permutation, combination, it will mutate from its elemental state, it will mutate into plant, animal, human, like that. That's how they figured it out. At the end of the day, all of life is these five great elements: fire, water, air, space, and earth. These five elements in various permutation, combination is life. But they are using logic and reason. So then they realize that this cosmos of ours has got millions and billions and trillions of planets. But so far, we are able to see life only in this one planet that we have. And wherever else we look, there is no evidence of life. So it is not possible that life can only be here. It has to be elsewhere also. So some special conditions were required for life to manifest itself. So they thought, person like Carl Sagan thought 3-4 conditions are required, which at this point of time available only here. But these 3-4 conditions will be available in so many other places. They looked and found nothing. Then they say, no, 3-4 is not enough. Few more conditions are required. If few more conditions are required, then the probability of life in the cosmos shrinks to few million places. Then they say few more required. Then it shrinks more. Then they say few more. By the time they came to 30-40 conditions, the probability of life became zero, zilch. It's not probable. Then they thought about what about this whole world functioning as itself. So all these four great forces, they have to function with such great precision. That precision itself is statistically impossible. So therefore they came to conclusion the world itself cannot exist. This is the conclusion they came to. When they came to this conclusion, therefore they bow their head and say, we don't know, but it is existing now. So therefore there has to be a higher knowledge, higher wisdom that is enabling this to function, but we don't know the answer. But scientifically speaking, it cannot exist. Neither life nor this world should be existing. This is a conclusion that scientists came to. Now it is being articulated. Put it up. Time magazine.
Sorry, sir, which one? The video.
Does God exist?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, video.
In 1966, Time magazine ran a cover story asking, "Is God dead?" The cover reflected the fact that many people had accepted the cultural narrative that God is obsolete, that as science progresses, there's less need for a God to explain the universe. It turns out, though, that the rumors of God's death were premature. In fact, perhaps the best arguments for his existence come from, of all places, science itself. Here's the story. The same year Time featured its now famous headline, the astronomer Carl Sagan announced that there were two necessary criteria for a planet to support life: the right kind of star and a planet the right distance from that star. Given the roughly octillion planets in the universe, that's one followed by 24 zeros, there should have been about septillion planets, that's one followed by 21 zeros, capable of supporting life. With such spectacular odds, scientists were optimistic that the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, known by its initials SETI, an ambitious project launched in the 1960s, was sure to turn up something soon. With a vast radio telescopic network, scientists listened for signals that resembled coded intelligence. But as the years passed, the silence from the universe was deafening. As of 2014, researchers have discovered precisely bupkis, nada, zilch, which is to say zero followed by an infinite number of zeros. What happened? As our knowledge of the universe increased, it became clear that there were, in fact, far more factors necessary for life, let alone intelligent life, than Sagan supposed. His two parameters grew to 10, then 20, and then 50, which meant that the number of potentially life-supporting planets decreased accordingly. The number dropped to a few thousand planets and kept on plummeting. Even SETI proponents acknowledged the problem. Peter Schenkel wrote in a 2006 piece for Skeptical Inquirer, a magazine that strongly affirms atheism, "In light of new findings and insights, we should quietly admit that the early estimates may no longer be tenable." Today, there are more than 200 known parameters necessary for a planet to support life, every single one of which must be perfectly met or the whole thing falls apart. For example, without a massive gravity-rich planet like Jupiter nearby to draw away asteroids, Earth would be more like an interstellar dartboard than the verdant orb that it is. Simply put, the odds against life in the universe are astonishing. Yet, here we are, not only existing, but talking about existing. What can account for it? Can every one of those many parameters have been perfectly met by accident? At what point is it fair to admit that it is science itself that suggests that we cannot be the result of random forces? Doesn't assuming that an intelligence created these perfect conditions in fact require far less faith than believing that a life-sustaining Earth just happened to beat the inconceivable odds? But wait, there's more. The fine-tuning necessary for life to exist on a planet is nothing compared with the fine-tuning required for the universe to exist at all. For example, astrophysicists now know that the values of the four fundamental forces, gravity, the electromagnetic force, and the strong and weak nuclear forces, were determined less than 1/1,000,000th of a second after the Big Bang. Alter any one of these four values ever so slightly, and the universe as we know it could not exist. For instance, if the ratio between the strong nuclear force and the electromagnetic force had been off by the tiniest fraction of the tiniest inconceivable fraction, then no stars could have formed at all. Multiply that single parameter by all the other necessary conditions, and the odds against the universe existing are so heart-stoppingly astronomical that the notion that it all just happened defies common sense. It would be like tossing a coin and having it come up heads 10 quintillion times in a row. I don't think so. Fred Hoyle, the astronomer who coined the term Big Bang, said that his atheism was greatly shaken by these developments. One of the world's most renowned theoretical physicists, Paul Davies, has said that the appearance of design is overwhelming. Even the late Christopher Hitchens, one of atheism's most aggressive proponents, conceded that without question the fine-tuning argument was the most powerful argument of the other side. Oxford University professor of mathematics, Dr. John Lennox, has said, "The more we get to know about our universe, the more the hypothesis that there is a creator gains in credibility as the best explanation of why we are here." The greatest miracle of all time is the universe. It is the miracle of all miracles, one that inescapably points to something or someone beyond itself. I'm Eric Metaxas for Prager University.
So therefore, what is science saying? What is science saying? I'm asking. Just heard something. What is it saying?
That there is some creator.
That there is a
Science.
creator without which
Yes.
that they don't understand. The knowledge of that creator goes beyond the knowledge of the highest scientific minds. That although it appears impossible, there has to be something omnipotent that can enable such a thing to happen, which is a statistical impossibility. That's what they are saying, is it not?
Yes.
But they leave it. They just say, the spiritual people who say that there is a God, there is merit in it. So whatever that entity, who or he or she is, she may have answers to this. Science doesn't have any answers. That's what he's saying. But there are other scientific, other factual aspects which are also impossible. This you must understand. To acknowledge life, what we have to acknowledge? Who are you, my dear? Who am I?
Death.
Huh? Sorry?
Death.
Death?
Yeah.
As a human, as any living being is what? Is a combination, no? Of what?
Matter and spirit.
Is a combination of matter and spirit. Is a combination of matter and spirit. So there has to be a union of spirit and matter for life to come into play. I'm speaking to you now because the self in me enlivens my body to speak and enlivens your personality to hear. So unless there is a union between spirit and matter, there cannot be acknowledgement or expression of life. These are assumptions that we have to make. So I'm asking, Nita,
Answer.
God
Yes.
is perfect. No? There's assumption, God is perfect, is it not?
Yes.
So why will
Yes.
somebody perfect create? Nita is imperfect. You accept? Nita is imperfect, no?
Yeah.
Huh? Adi is imperfect, I'm accepting.
Yes.
I'm not putting you to a corner, right? So
Yes.
Nita is imperfect. Self in you is perfect, correct? So why will somebody perfect create an imperfection? if you are of God, why will somebody who is perfect generate an imperfection? From imperfection, you can scale up to perfection. Why will perfection debase itself into imperfection? This is the question. Is it possible? Is it rational? I'm asking.
Yeah, not rational.
It's not rational. But it appears so, no? Because you can't function without self in you talking, and you are a living being, Dita. But if you look at it dispassionately, spirit and matter cannot mix. Why will spirit have union with you? Why will it create imperfection? What I'm trying to say is that these are issues we have to think about. This is what we have to meditate on. This is what we have to contemplate. We are contemplating on junk. I am talking scientifically now, deliberately. We have mentioned this in a previous class. Can you put in a petri dish a fish and a tiger and create a hybrid? Can you put in a dish a tiger and a goat and create hybrid? I'm asking.
Not possible.
Is not possible. Why not possible? Too many degrees of difference. Is it not? Can you put in a petri dish gorilla and human and create a planet of the apes? I'm asking. You're seeing movie, no? Planet of the Apes, you're seeing where the apes are smarter than the men. But the Planet of the Apes you're seeing is human and gorilla, chimpanzee put together. Can you put in petri dish and create? I'm asking. Not possible. No. What is the similarity between ape and man? Biological similarity.
Body is same.
What is the biological DNA similarity between ape and man? DNA similarity is 99%. 1% difference prevents one from mixing with the other. What is the degree of separation between spirit and matter? I'm asking. Sadev, my friend, I don't know. I have not met you before. What is the degree of separation between spirit and matter?
It's 1% difference.
Between spirit and matter, degree of separation is 1%.
No, 100%. 100%.
100% is infinite. The degree of separation is infinite. There is no comparison only, is it not? Spirit is spirit, matter is matter. Matter is death. Without life, spirit is the life-giving principle. There is no connection. When the degree of separation is infinite, how can they combine? Logically, is it possible that it can combine? I'm asking. I'm talking reason and logic. If it's something beyond reason and logic, that is a separate issue. But logically, can it combine? No. I'm asking.
No.
Cannot combine. It appears to combine, no? Because you and I are functioning just now. We cannot function without spirit and matter combined. Are you with me?
Yes.
Understand this conundrum and leave it for a while and ponder on it. Because the answer is given. There is no point giving a conundrum and then not giving answer. Answer is available. But understand that there is something wrong in the kingdom of Denmark. Don't take things for granted. This is paradox number 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. Next paradox. I'm speaking to you now. Swamiji has written the book. Since he has written the book, there is assumptions that are required. What is the assumption between Swamiji and the book that he has written? Swamiji is the writer of the book. He is the creator of the book. What is the assumption you require between him as the creator and the book which is created?
He has studied
Necessary assumption.
he has studied the subject in depth.
No, he studies object because he studied the study and assimilation of the study is reflected in the clarity of his writing. That is, I appreciate what you're saying. But ultimately, he's produced a book. No? What is the assumption between him, the creator, and the book which is created? What is the assumption? I'm asking.
That they are
He has
separate.
He has gone through all experiences.
My dear, he can, having done all that, he wrote the book. No? So there is a necessary intermediary between the writing of the book and his personality. What is that made him write the book? It's a very simple question, not a complicated question.
Sir, repeat.
Huh?
Please repeat. Please
Huh?
repeat. Repeat. Just
Repeat the question. She's saying repeat the question.
Question.
Repeat the question.
Yes.
I'm saying Swamiji, as you know, has written these books, right? So obviously Swamiji has gone through a lot of diligence, and because of the diligence, he's written extraordinary quality of book. But he's the writer, he's the creator, and the book is the product. Is it not?
Yes.
So between the writer, creator, and the product, which is the book, there is something in between. What is that? That made him write the book.
Desire.
Desire. Unless he had a desire to write, and he brought that desire into manifestation, he can't write the book.
Right.
You understand? So when you see a book, behind the book is the author, the creator of that book. And between the creator and the book is the desire to write. Some people may think, I'm thinking of writing, that the desire you don't translate, there is no creation. You follow?
Okay.
So what is it called? In front of you is your gadget. So that is the product. But behind the product is the knowledge of making the gadget, the maker of the product. And between the maker of the product and the product is a desire to make the product. That's the phone you are holding in front of you. You get it?
Yes.
So therefore, when you see a product, there has to be a product conceiver, a product maker, and the product maker must have a desire to make the product. A simple thing. You see a watch, there is a watchmaker. The watch came into being because of desire to make a watch. Is it not?
Yeah.
It's a simple thing. Therefore, we are seeing a world which is complex and mysterious beyond comprehension. That is what we just saw on the video. We are seeing a world. Is it not? We are experiencing a world, is it not?
Yes.
Since we are experiencing a world, necessarily there has to be what?
There has to be a creator, is what they are saying.
There has to be a world maker, which is the creator. So science is now put his hands up and saying, I don't know, this by itself, the world cannot create itself. There has to be a creator, which it calls God. You follow? So since we are seeing a wondrous world, necessarily there must be a world maker, which is called God. Correct?
Yes. Sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
But
but if God made the world, then also necessarily it must mean that he has desire to make the world.
And if
Is
he has
that not a valid assumption? Huh?
Yes, sir.
But that is
He
valid.
must have without desire. Don't jump the gun. You don't jump the gun. If there is a world, necessarily there has to be a world maker. If there is a world maker, there is a desire between the world maker and the world. The world maker is not known to science. I don't know. It belongs to transcendental. So that world maker, for convenience, we give name God. If God made the world, he had desire to make the world. If you want to achieve immortality, moksha, deliverance, what do you have to do?
Get rid of desires.
If you have to get rid of desire to get to Godhood, then how can God have desire to make the world? He's got maximum desire.
Catch
He's the most,
24.
he's got the most extroverted fellow in life. He's got maximum desire. How will he make the world? So to get to Godhood, you have to eliminate desire. So God is described as a desireless person, without desire, beyond desire. If it's with beyond desire, then who created the world? He didn't create. It's paradox.
You're moving
You
in
must
circle.
understand that no, it can move in circle, it can move anywhere, but you must understand it. We are complacent. We are just saying God created the world. But when you go to God, you say, don't come to me, I have not made this mess. To give you a short answer, he says, don't come to me. Scientists are saying that world cannot exist. Only God knows how it came into being. So we are coming to you. Okay, sir, why did it come into being? He says, don't come to me. I have not made this mess, man. I have not created. This God is saying, now what you are going to do? Scientists say that the world cannot exist without God. You go to God, God says, don't come to me. I never exist. I never create. You put up, hello. Apna, Omkar.
Which number, sir?
You put up, you put up the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaking.
Yeah.
Amongst thousands of men, scarce one strives for perfection. And of those who strive and succeed, scarce one knows me in essence. And what is he in essence? He's going to talk. Just go ahead. Verily, here he is giving you the answer. Verily, this divine illusion of mind, this world is an illusion. It is not a reality. It is made up of gunas, your gunas, your temperaments. They project this world. Verily, this divine illusion of mind made of gunas, qualities, is difficult to cross over. Those who seek me alone will cross over this illusion. What the masters are saying is, I have not created this world. You are not aware of the natural fullness of the self. Because you lost the natural fullness of yourself, you experience emptiness. The emptiness has generated this mind, which is full of desire. And because this mind is generated, the world is projected. This world that you see is merely a projection of your mind. I have not created it. Now you are, but the world that is created through the medium of your mind is so powerful that the experiencer sees it as real. Just because you are seeing it as real does not mean it is actually real. It's merely a projection. That's what he's saying. But it's difficult to cross over this unless you are steadfast in yoga. And to be steadfast in yoga, you must contemplate on all the conundrums that we are talking about. Put the next one. Arjuna, there are 4 kinds of people who worship me. The distressed, they come to me for solace. And seekers of knowledge, they come for academic purposes. And seekers of wealth, who want some prosperity so that they can share. And finally, the jnani, the wise, the inquirer, the fellow who has got a sharp, subtle intellect. That's what he's saying. Put the next one.
This is chapter 7, no?
Yeah, no, keep same thing. Same thing. Of them, you say, of these. Put next one. 17th. Of them, the jnani, the wise, ever steadfast with single-pointed devotion excels. For I am extremely dear to the jnani and he is dear to me. Put the next one. Everybody is fooled by my own Maya. The foolish think of me, this is important. The foolish think of me, the unmanifest, as having manifestation, not knowing my supreme nature, immutable and unsurpassed. He's saying, I am not manifest. I do not have manifestation. The foolish think of me as being manifest. Why will something supreme, why will I create something which is so messy? Anybody can create a better world than what you are experiencing now. I have not created this world. The stupidity of your mind has projected this world. The foolish think of me, the unmanifest, as having manifestation, not knowing my supreme nature, which is immutable and unsurpassed. My supreme, from that supremacy, why will I create imperfection? Who is at the top of the perfection ladder in life? I'm asking.
God.
Top of perfection ladder in life is not God. God is above the whole thing. Who is in life that we see, which is at the top of the ladder?
Objective person, objective person.
Top of the ladder is human being. Man.
Yeah, of course, human being.
No, don't say of course human being. Human being
The celestial. The celestial
of creation. Human is beyond animal kingdom. Of all animal kingdom, humans are special. No, they're different in kind, not different in degree. Humans, right?
From the celestial king. From the celestial kingdom.
I can't hear what you're saying.
No,
what is
those from the celestial kingdom. The celestial kingdom.
Omkar, what is the lady saying? I'm not able to.
Is above the human kingdom. So those.
So she's saying the celestial beings are above the human, if I heard her right.
There is no celestial being. Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing is there. There are no celestial beings. These are their own concoction. Which celestial being where? This is just to appease the mind. We say there is celestial. There is no celestial being. What is celestial? God does not have a form, my dear. Humans are the top of creation. Amongst humans, how many are imperfect? How many are self-centered? 99% of humans are suffering. Will God create a miracle called a human and have 99% suffering? You must ask this question, sir. If there is a suggestion box and you are given omnipotent power, will you not be able to, with your yogic power, improve this world? Anybody will be able to improve. I am unmanifest, without manifestation. I never created this world. It is whole thing is Maya, is illusion. A reality which your mind is compelled to acknowledge, because that is the power of my Maya. To understand this, what this Maya is about, is something that we have to take up next class, which will be our last class before Janki ji comes and brings you down to more comfortable levels. The idea was to make it a little uncomfortable. Thank you.